Hello guys, the Movie Guy here, and today I'm gonna give you my 10 favorite characters of a Game of Thrones. Just to be clear, these characters are my favorite. It's just my opinion. Every human being has a different opinion. So who did you want to see on this list that wasn't in here? Let me know in the comment section down below. The 10 are pretty much, so I'm gonna roll through them very quickly. So without further ado, let's go after the intro. As for my first favorite character, it's the most favorite character of everybody. I think it's undoubtedly one of the best characters in the show, I think, and I think everybody agrees with me. Of course, I'm talking about Tyrion Lannister. Tyrion Lannister is funny, especially with in the scenes with Joffrey when he verbally owns Joffrey and he slaps him. It's just too funny. The Wolfman. It's not really that. Oh, sorry, I touched my microphone. Sorry. It's not that easy always for Tyrion because, of course, he's a dwarf and he's not tall and he's like kind of has a big head and anything like that. And his father kind of hates him. His sister especially hates him. Joffrey, his nephew, especially hates him. He gets a lot of shit through his life, but Tyrion still managed to keep. He still managed to keep like positive and keep being funny. I think a lot of people would have like get depressive at that point when nobody really cares and likes about him. Of course, except Jaime Lannister, his brother. One of the things I also think is quite interesting about Tyrion, especially in the books, Tyrion knows that he isn't a good fighter, and he knows that because of his height, he can't fight very well. So what Tyrion decided, if I can be dangerous like with fighting, I'm going to be dangerous with my knowledge, with my words, and that's very funny. So let's go to the other favorite characters. Let's go. My second favorite character is Ramsay Snow slash Bolton, as he's now renamed in season 4. I like Ramsay Bolton a lot. A lot of people say like, oh, Tion Greyjoy, sorry, doesn't get what he deserves. I know he like killed those two childs and burned them, but I think Tion got what he deserves, and I think Ramsay Snow is such an amazing actor and such a great character. He's funny, especially in the scene that he's eating a sausage. It's just ridiculously funny. I think it's a little bit of dark humor, but I really fucking like Ramsay's. You know what I like the most about him? Mostly psychos in movies and crazy people and mentally disordered people in most movies are like really quiet and really scary looking, like imitating without saying words. But Ramsay is also kind of imitating, but Ramsay just tortures people and he just really sees it as a game. He just smiles all the time. He just plays it like a game, like he's kind of child which is playing with a toy, but then Tion is his toy. And by playing a game, I mean he's like fucking torturing a guy and flaying him alive. But nevertheless, I think Ramsay Snow is a very good character. I think his actor is great. He's funny, but also very scary and imitating. That's what I like about him. Let's go on to the next character. My next character on the list is Peter Baelish. I think Peter Baelish is on this list because he's a sneaky guy. I like the sneaky guy. I like him in this case. I think what's so cool and interesting about Peter, you never know what he's going to do. Like that he killed Joffrey, I didn't really expect that, and like that he killed Lysa at the end. Yeah, when he was standing by the moon door, I would expect he was going to throw Lysa in it, but you wouldn't see that coming because I really thought Peter loved that crazy ass bitch called Lysa Tully. But nevertheless, I think Peter Baelish is one of the best Game of Thrones players, and I don't mean it like a character, but really he plays the Game of Thrones well. He knows what to do to kind of reach the top. He's low born, and as a low born guy to be the Lord of the Eyrie, that's very impressive. And I've like that he's sneaky. I just like that, and he plays the Game of Thrones very well. Let's go to the next one. My next character is, and I think its name is pretty hard to just like pronounce it correctly, and I know there are a lot of fans that maybe are going to correct me in the comments, but it is Jegan Hakar. I really hope I pronounce it right. Jegan Hakar, of course, everybody kind of knows him, the faceless assassin. He's got his hair like on one half red, one half like whitish. He's a mysterious character. I think he is talking is the half of his character, like a man must need a name. That's a failing accent, sorry for that. But I really think Jagan Hakar is an awesome, cool assassin guy. I think he's maybe one of the only assassin characters in Game of Thrones that you really know. He's the only Game of Thrones character that is an assassin, and I really think he's fucking cool. Let's go to the next character on this list. The next character on this list is kind of in regards to Jagan Hakar. It's Arya Stark. And what I like especially about Arya Stark is she can manage on her own. I think in the books she's like 8, and if she were that to be in the show, I'm just going on with she being 8. For an 8-year-old girl to already kill people, to already like survive on her own like that, I think that's why she is pretty badass also. She's maybe the most badass 8-year-old kid in a movie or show that I know of, at least. And I really like the scenes with her. I think her story is one of the most, or her plot is one of the most interesting, especially now at the end of season 4 where she goes to Bravos. I really don't know how to pronounce that city name, to be, I think, trained assassin or faceless girl for this instance. And I really hope she gets to meet Jagan Hakar again, even though he has a different face. I like this first face better than the new face. The new face is kind of meh, but you know, it's okay. But I really hope she gets to be a great assassin and maybe kill one of the people that is on her prayers list, because that's one of the coolest things about the character, that prayer list. She goes with like Joffrey, Cersei, Ellen Payne, the Hound. I think that's very cool. But without further ado, let's go to the next one. I think this is not a very famous character and not a very much spoken of character. He's a little bit more in the books, I think. It's, if I pronounce this right, Brendan. And then his like nickname is Blackfish Tully. It's like the uncle of the Stark kids and the brother of Catelyn and Lysa Tully. I think that he's very funny. He just got a few scenes, but I think those scenes, he steals that scene. I think like the scene at the Red Wedding where he's just like looking aside of him and he sees all these ugly women smiling at him. I put that in my crack video. If you want to see that, go click on the crack video. And he's like, hell no. Or at the scene where Huster Tully is being burned, or being, his funeral, and Edmund Tully, his brother, misses all the shots and he's just like, give me the bow, and he shoots and then one shot hits the boat and that sets it on fire. I think he's just a great badass cool character. But without further ado, let's go to the next one. My next character on the list is kind of like Meryl, you could say. Not very much in his way of doing things, but in his way of being a bad guy first and then being a good guy at the end of in season 4 kind of. It's Jaime Lannister. I think Jaime Lannister, even when he was a dickhead with Brienne when he was captured, I think those scenes with Brienne and Jaime Lannister, especially in the books, I'm just acting all smart because I read the books, sorry about that. But Jaime Lannister, especially in the scenes with Brienne, he's pretty funny, like almost every character in Game of Thrones. Not every character, but he's a funny character. And what I like is that he's good at fighting and that he thinks with his head first, or with his sword, rather than his brains. Like, I think that he's funny, even though he fucks his sister, even though he made Joffrey, but he makes all up to that because he's like, I think, one of the only characters that doesn't misunderstood or misunderstands Tyrion. He's like the only. I think he's the only real character that really doesn't hate Tyrion and just likes Tyrion. And I like him even more because he made Tyrion escape, or he helped Tyrion escape from the Black Cells and escaping a beheading. Right, and yeah, that's it. No, that's Jaime Lannister. Let's go to number 8. This bastard knows nothing, and of course I'm talking about Jon Snow. Jon Snow, kind of like Tyrion, but not really. Got hated by Catelyn, and because he's a bastard. We don't know yet if who his mother is. Don't really. Yeah, maybe in regards to Lyanna Stark. I'm not spoiling too much, but that's so far I know. Um, right, I really like this character. Okay, like kind of, especially in the books again, like always in the books. Sorry, he goes. Spoilers. He goes to the Wildling side and has his little thing with Ygritte. I think it's Ygritte. I hope I pronounced that right. Also, I don't know what I like about. It's not really easy to explain what I like about Jon Snow, but just his sense of honor, his sense of friendship, and that he like kind of stood up for Samuel. I think he's an honest, honorable man, and yeah, there's nothing really much to say about Jon Snow except he knows nothing, and he's a pretty interesting and fun character. Let's go to number 9. On number 9 is a character that doesn't really get that much like scenes in the show. He gets much more than most characters, but it's Davos Seaworth. Davos Seaworth, the Onion Knight, how he's also called. He was a former smuggler. Then he smuggled for Stannis, who was being like, I don't know what it's called, but Stannis needed food, and he smuggled food to his Stannis' side. Stannis is also a pretty honest man, so like for the smuggling, Stannis took the fingertops of Davos, and Davos got like his fingertops. He keeps them in like a sack around his neck. I think that's pretty funny, and Davos like always touches it when he needs luck. It isn't really that much detailed in the series, but it is in the books. But what I like about Davos kind of makes up for Stannis' wrong choices because of Melisandre, especially when they wanted to burn Gendry in the books. Edric Storm, when they wanted to burn him, like Stannis like freed him and made him escape. What I also like is that Davos is always being honest, where everybody is kind of like lying to Stannis that they think that his plans are great. Just Davos is always honest to Stannis, and he's a great counselor. I think he is, and I just like him. I don't know. And for the last but not least is Oberyn Martell. Oberyn Martell, we only got to see him last season. It's a shame that he already, spoilers, died in the last season because he was such a great character. It was funny with his, especially his opening scene when he just puts the knife in the hand of Lannister and he's like, "You could fight me, but you will bleed to death, or you just could go and get help." Decisions. I thought that was such a great scene. Even though he sleeps with boys and he has sex with boys, I think he's like the coolest gay dude or bisexual dude I know. Not that I'm being racist, but he's just funny. He's dangerous. He's really unpredictable. I really like that he is in King's Landing for his vengeance and for his justice, what she's always talking about. And of course, he is the only one who wanted to fight as Tyrion's champion against the Mountain. He almost did it, but then the Mountain fucking like kicked out or just slaps out or fisted out, however the fuck you want to call it, his teeth, and he just made his head explode. I was so freaking sad. I really didn't like that. Tyrion. Oberyn Martell was a really great character, and I really sad. It was really sad, especially to go him see out like that way. I thought Oberyn Martell deserved a way more epic, like epic death. It's a cool death. That not that I'm complaining about this death, but I thought he could at least win. Like, I don't know, man. Just it's just a shame. I really want to see more of him. I know in season 5 we're going to, spoiler if you haven't read the books or watched the show, in season 5 we're going to see like his daughters, I think his bastards, the sand snakes they're called, and they're like his trained daughter fighters. So I hope those are going to be as cool as Oberyn Martell himself is. But without further ado, let's go to the end of the video. I hope you like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. What do you want to see next time? You can also decide for me. Of course, I'm still keep doing reviews, but what do you guys want to see? Let me know. And I'm maybe going to make my top 10 or 5 characters in Game of Thrones that I don't like. Guess who's on it? Joffrey. Well, that was it for today. Bye, guys.